back picks, and guess what? We're gonna make that 12-2 after this weekend. Our first fight of the night that I'm bringing to the table is Oscar Pihota facing off against Power Bar Mark Andre Barrial. I'm pretty excited for this fight. We got Oscar Pihota coming in 6 feet even, 76-inch reach, 3 fight losing streak. He violently finished against Gerald Mearshart and Puna Soriano. I mean, Soriano whacked this dude so hard. He when he got hit, he was like just staring at the ceiling, like, Lord, why did you put me in this position? Nasty knockout. Of course, he got submitted by Randolfo Vieira, which, that's, I mean, props to him. He's one of the top jiu-jitsu guys in the world. That's understandable. But obviously, in my eyes, Pijota's strengths is his jiu-jitsu. And a lot of his weaknesses that I saw when I was taping his fights is, he doesn't mind giving up the center of the octagon. He doesn't seem real active. He seems to be more of a defensive fighter, doesn't really like to exchange too much. I think he obviously prefers the ground game. But, man, I think those 2 shots that he took on Puna, because remember, Puna actually knocked him early in the fight with a left hook, dropped him, and then put his lights out with the left later on. But those are 2 big shots, and I don't know. Are those shots big enough to affect his mental state? 0-3 in the UFC? And with his gas tank, I see him as a fighter that's good for 1 round. After that, he's going to fade. And on the other side of that, though, we got Marc-Andre Barriault, a.k.a. Power Bar, 6'1" with a 74-inch reach, so he's going to be giving up 2 inches in reach. Head coach Patrick Marcel, okay. He's fighting out of the Nova Gym, and he has spent some time at TriStar in the last couple of years. But he's also on a 3-fight L streak, and this is a losing streak that you could kind of say he could have been 2-1, maybe 1-2. Super close fight against Andrew Sanchez. Super close fight against Jotko, which I think he won. And then Jung Young Park, I think clearly won that fight, but he seems to be like a pretty good fighter, and he's got a lot of strengths. His weaknesses, I would say, is he's just not an athlete. He doesn't look athletic in there. He's plotty. Doesn't flow real well, but he does have power, and he does have good cardio, and he seems pretty competent in most areas. I think he'll take the center of the cage on a guy like Pihota, and I think he will be active, and he shows great takedown defense. And, I just think he hasn't really seemed to turn the corner yet in his UFC career. Obviously, they're both 0-3, but this one win could really catapult one of them into a great direction, and I think this could be a great fight, but I just really see Power Bar winning on an output-based decision. Like, I don't see Pihota out-toughing him. I think Barriault's going to win this based on his durability, and it's going to be his durability versus Pijota's gas tank. And if you're going to give me underdog odds, which I did get Barriault, I got Barriault at plus 103, then hey, I'll take that all day. Give me Marc-Andre Barriault plus 103. Let's go.
Okay.
Next fight we're going to be going over is co-main event. These are the 2 fights. These are the 2 fights I'm doing. I'm not trying to do them out of order, but these are the 2 fights that I really spent the most time on this week. And this second fight is, of course, Josh Emmett against Hurricane Shane Burgos. Oh, this is going to be a banger. Well, maybe I spoke too much already. You know what? Let me just get into Josh Emmett real quick. The man's 5'6", with a 70-inch reach. Of course, Team Alpha Male guy, Uriah Faber. His last 3 fights, though, Bektik knocked him. Just, ooh, what power. Michael Johnson fight, he's actually losing the entire fight. Last minute, stunning knockout. And, of course, he went against Jeremy Stevens, which, that's okay. If you get knocked out by Jeremy Stevens, I mean, that can happen to anybody. And he did get knocked out by Jeremy Stevens. And obviously, he has a lot of great strengths. He's a fantastic wrestler. He has, I mean, otherworldly fight-changing power that, like, I think he's in a class with, like, the Ngannous and guys like that with just fight-ending power out of nowhere. It's disgusting, man. And maybe I definitely just overreached my boundaries
Yeah.
by saying Josh Emmett had the same power as Ngannou, but I was trying to think of one punch guys off the top of my head, but he's definitely got a lot of power, so I wouldn't say that's absolutely horrible, but
Would you?
he's also got good jujitsu, and the thing that worries me though with his weaknesses though, a lot of times he'll just stand there waiting for the big punch, so he won't throw output. Okay, and then we flip it over the other side. We got Shane Burgos, who's going to have a 5-inch height advantage, a 5.5-inch reach advantage. Head coach Tiger Shulman. I'm a big Tiger Shulman guy. His last 3 fights knocks out Makwan and Marikani. Has a good close fight against Queb Swanson, which he got hit a lot more than I would have liked him to get hit there, and he's not necessarily known for. He does absorb a lot of strikes per minute. And then he got in a little bit of trouble against Kurt Holloway, but he ended up subbing him with that armbar, so that was very nice on his part. He's 13-1. Calvin Kattar is his only loss right now, and that Calvin Kattar fight was great. I mean, that was a great fight. He was working Kattar's body. Kattar was working his head, and he got hit with a beautiful uppercut, and he got beat with precision right there. So yeah, I don't take too much out of that because Emmett is not the striker that Kattar is in the sense of precision. Like he's just a power guy. Okay, and another thing I like about Shane Burgos is he works the body real well. He has tremendous cross counters, and he's just got that cardio and volume that, like, from that standpoint, this fight seems so easy in my eyes. Where you have one guy with great cardio and output, and another guy who's just not going to have great output. He's just going to sit there and try to knock your whole head off. And and again, and that's where I think this fight goes. This fight comes down to Emmett waiting for a KO. And I think he's waiting for a knockout that never comes. And I just see Burgos picking this guy apart, working his body and everything for 3 rounds. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Burgos walks away with the TKO. I was able to grab Shane Burgos at minus 137 odds, and I'm very happy with those odds.
To add on that, would you say the other guy's power translates to like, let's say, that he has knockout power that translate to Nagano for his division? Is that what you were trying to say?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, just purely in a sense of I mean, look at the Michael Johnson fight. Look at the Michael Johnson fight. He's losing the whole. He's losing against Michael Johnson. He was going to lose a decision, and I think there's like 50 to 45 seconds left in the third round. Bang, done.
Mm,
Michael Johnson's stiff. I mean, it was incredible.
okay.
Ricardo Lamas knocked him stiff.
Well, what's the next fight you have?
Yeah, so we're gonna go over 3 more fights real quick that I added. I did add on my Bet MMA account because I feel pretty good about them. First one is I got Raquel Pennington at minus 162 against Marion Renault. I mean, I really tried not to think too hard about these because sometimes I catch myself just overthinking fights. I got Rocky coming in, a striking battle against a 42, going to be 43 years old on Fight Night, Marion Renault. I just don't see how Rocky doesn't take this on the scorecard. I,
Mm,
I know that seems a little cut and dry, but that's how I see it, man.
yeah, she's a tough fighter too, man. She always gets in some wars, but she's tough.
Yeah, next fight that I'm going to be going over, Bama, uh, rising prospect Roosevelt Roberts going up against the absolute veteran Jim Miller. Jim Miller with the record for the most UFC fights in a career and counting. So freaking impressive. The guy's a freaking stud. 36 years old. But I think this is Roosevelt's time, man. He's coming off that nice win over Brock Weaver. He's about his money, as he said. We know he's about his money. He's going to be looking for this post fight bonus. And I think he's the better wrestler, and then Jim Miller, I think he can pop him on the feet. I just don't see. I just don't see where Roosevelt Roberts, outside of a big, 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 big shot by Jim Miller, I don't see where he loses this fight. So, yeah, I got Roosevelt Roberts at minus 240 odds, and I feel tremendous about that.
Um, the ad on that Jim Miller, man, and he a big submission guy too. I mean, he could pull
Yeah,
off
he
a.
has tremendous black belt. Yeah, absolutely. He could. Roosevelt Roberts definitely is the better wrestler
Mm-hmm.
uh, in this fight. So I don't think this is going to get to the ground.
Okay, okay. All right, next fight.
Yeah, last fight we got Bobby Green, Clay Guida again. Not gonna overthink this. Bobby Green, usually when he steps up and fights fighters above him, yeah, he'll lose. But when he gets a guy that he can style on, like a guy like Clay Guida, I think he will style on him. He's gonna have a size advantage. I think he's a very underrated wrestler, and I think I can see him stuffing some takedowns and really getting to Guida on the in the stand up, and I think he's going to end up getting Guida out of there. And I hate to say this, but maybe this is the last time we see Clay Guida in the octagon. I don't know. He's had a long career, man, taking a lot of punishment. So I
Mm-hmm.
got Bobby King Green coming out with the TKO victory at
Okay.
minus 240 odds.
Quick recap for everybody watching. What's your fighters you picked again?
Yes, sir. First fight of the night, Power Bar, Mark Andre Barrios plus 103. Second, Shane Burgos minus 137. We got Roosevelt Roberts minus 240. We got Bobby King Green at minus 240. And we also have Rocky Raquel Pennington at minus 162 over Marion Renault. I'm really excited for these fights, and I hope they pan out well for me. I hope they pan out well for us, and most importantly, I hope they really pan out for you guys, and I hope you guys really enjoy this weekend.